What's your drop dead time?
12:30. Yeah.
Can't imagine we go to there. All right.
No.
Do you think we should save the swing player thing, or should we just do it? I can't. I feel like it's good content. I actually mapped this out. We're exactly 5 weeks away from Butter Parquet. So 1 division a week, it works perfectly, but then we could just double up next week. So
I mean, I didn't like it's not the hardest thing to do.
No.
And it gives us 10 minutes or 12 minutes of content
or more.
or more. And nobody's doing it, right? Everybody's doing who's better, over under.
Maybe we can revisit. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, they're ranking teams and off-season grades. Like nobody's doing what swing.
It'll give us some content. So we'll do the Celtics.
Give me a minute.
Yeah.
To pull up like all of the things.
Yep, sure.
So I'll just we're gonna do the Eastern. No, it's what is it? Atlantic division.
Atlantic.
Atlantic.
That's how I like to say it.
Okay. And I'll look. So I'll just do that. All I need to do is be able to see their rosters so I can have a little bit of. The Eastern Conference is easy for me. The Western is when I probably should do a day's worth of research.
I mean, it's so like, I don't know if it's easier or harder for this division. There's a couple teams I don't know what to do, but like there's so much continuity.
Yeah.
But there's Celtics, there's Sixers, Raptors. I'm a little lost on who to pick for the Raptors because they're all known commodities. The Nets is easy because it's hilarious. It's just like
because of the way. Oh, we should save it.
All right, yeah, we'll save it, and then the Knicks. So, all right. All right, welcome to Fast Break Breakfast NBA podcast. My name is Keith Parrish here once again with my buddy through the miracle of computer phone here with Chuck Anderson.
No
John Burr this week. Chuck and I will carry the heavy load and I believe carry this to completion. I think we can make it happen. Yeah, let's finish. We're going to finish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
That's the goal, at least.
To be done, to be spent when we're finished?
Yes.
Sweaty?
I actually had to wait for someone to finish before we could start here, Chuck.
Keith? Tell me more.
I will tell you more. This is one of my favorite things. This is one of my favorite results of the global pandemic, which has claimed millions and millions of lives. We all have our own. We've talked about it before. Like, I love contactless food pickup. Incredible. Yep. You'll bring the food to my car now. This is awesome. Here's the one I like. Maybe the most, maybe as much, if not more than the contactless food pickup. So I'm an automobile owner. A little bit of a brag, okay? Take that for what it,
Come on, quit flexing on
I'm
Keith.
flexing. I own a car.
4 wheels?
I own a car. So there are lots of negative things that come with owning a car. The expenses never end. I'm not just talking about Joe Biden charging me $5 a gallon. I'm talking about apparently like you need new wheels every now and then. And they cost so much money.
Oh.
And like they cost like you could buy multiple PS5s for what it costs to put wheels on your car. You have to replace wiper blades. You have to like add fluids and things.
Yeah.
It's constant expenses. One of them, and it feels like it could be a scam, is apparently you're supposed to get oil changes. I don't know what an oil change does, but like you have to do it and it costs a lot of, it's kind of expensive. They're also inconvenient, right, Chuck? I mean,
well, yeah, do you change
your own oil?
I used to.
Yeah.
And then it's gotten to the place where like I've done the math, and it takes me an hour. It takes somebody at Valvoline 12 to 17 minutes.
Yeah.
And it costs the same. So for me, the price, like I have to go buy all the oil I get.
So what's in your mind? How much should an oil change cost?
Depending on the vehicle, because some vehicles need like nice oil.
Okay.
Anywhere between $60 to $100.
Yeah. Okay. So like that's in my mind. It's like, all right, this is just like, I'm going to roll up here. They're going to say, what kind of oil do you want?
You're going to shrug.
I'm going to say, bro, it's a Corolla.
Brown kind.
Just give me the Corolla oil. And it costs like $100 or something, or costs like 80. You know what? Like you can always be like, you know, you Google for the coupon. You're like, look, 50% off. Like, great. It costs $80. Like, oh, okay, cool. So anyways, best case scenario for me to get an oil change is like you drive to the oil change place and it takes, you said 15 to 17 minutes. That feels idealistic. If there's no one in line, yeah, maybe, yes. All right, maybe 20 minutes. You look at your phone, you read a book for 20 minutes and they do it. Well, I'm not going to plug the service that's doing it because I'm not getting any compensation. The thing that's occurred during the pandemic is they will come to you.
Yeah.
Like come to your place and do the oil change. And so like, you know, in my mind, I have like I got a little thing. I'm like, all right, we need an oil change at this, you know, this mileage. I'd like to rotate the tires. And I'm like, all right, I'll just drive by a place and get that done after I drop the kids off at school. And then it's like I drove to the first place wasn't open at 9 a.m. Like I'm not going to wait.
Come on.
I go to the next place. There's like 2 cars in line. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do this. I'll get them to come to me. And here's the thing. The come to me price, same price. It's $60. It's the same price. And this is lap of luxury. I couldn't be happier. They tell me all the things I should fix on my car. And I'm like, no, thanks, man. And then they're like, great.
And you're not in the place where they're like, you're at a like auto repair shop when they're like, hey, yeah, you could just tell them, yeah, I'll bring it in next week. Like I'll take care of that. Instead of that, like, well, we have it up on the rack. We could change that belt now. Oh, well, I bought a car recently.
Yeah.
The guy told me, yeah, it's going to need a timing belt. And I go, okay, a belt. I buy belts. They're not super expensive.
Right.
The belts that go around my waist, it's not that expensive. And this one costs $1,500. It's a timing belt.
What?
You got to replace a water pump. It was a whole mess. It's a third of the cost. I mean, it's like 1/5 of the cost of my the vehicle. Yeah. Like I bought this vehicle thinking, all right, it'll work. I'll get some good miles on it, but I have to change the timing belt or the engine will break. If you read into timing belts, if you don't change the timing belt, it'll just pop your engine and then it won't work anymore. So now I have to scrounge up a bunch of money to change a thing in a car that I thought was good to go.
Owning cars is terrible.
But owning anything, the wealth owns you.
The people that come to your place and they change your oil. They're like, hey man, you could use some new wiper blades. I'm like, yeah, sure. I'm like, do you have those? He's like, no, I don't. Well, awesome. So you can't sell them to. Like, I have to go back to the store. But no, I'm good. Like they can't even the upsells. They can't really upsell you because they have this van. They're here. So I love this luxury. I hate owning cars, but they come to my house. But also it took them a little while. But I was waiting them but also I don't honestly care that it took them a while because I'm at my house. I'm on my computer. I'm doing my things. I'm getting ready for a Fastbreak Breakfast episode. And so like, that's perfection. You can't beat it. It's a wonderful service. They could charge me more. I don't know if they're listening. They could have charged me so much more. Like,
oh yeah. I would have paid double that to not have to drive somewhere.
I don't have to go anywhere. You'll just come over to my house on the time I schedule.
Are you sure they're like properly disposing of the used oil? You're not like there's not like a puddle in your yard. They also have a thing. They're like, do you want us to dispose of your fluids when we're finished? Would you like us to get rid of the fluids? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. It's always nice when they help you clean up the fluids after.
Yeah, I will check that box. I assume they're taking it away. I mean, this is a name brand I've heard of. I don't think they're just dumping the oil in my yard.
Incredible.
But, Chuck, have you had breakfast?
I did granola. I haven't done the granola in the container yet.
Straight container, man.
Well, I'm trying to count my macros, so I want to make sure I'm putting a 1/4 cup of yogurt. so I don't want to over consume, and I'm doing a quarter cup of granola, and that gets me to the requisite 400 calories and 25 grams of protein that I need for my breakfast.
That's pretty good. I had
it's filling.
I had a pretty solid breakfast. I had breakfast tacos. So my youngest one started kindergarten. And the first couple of days were half days. So, you come pick them up like 11:30. So that's like a little fun. Hey, let's go get some lunch. Got some tacos. Had leftovers. It was a taco that had a little bit of egg, a little bit of black bean, a little bit of bacon.
Hey, now.
It was incredible. Day after, also incredible. Ladybird tacos. One thing they do.
Is it ran by Lyndon Johnson's wife?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't get that.
I think it's connected to, I mean, it's like, I hadn't connected the Lyndon Johnson thing, but they have a from Texas to Tennessee thing on there. Lyndon Johnson from
the
Texas.
Great state of Texas.
So maybe it is a connection. The bacon itself was delicious. Otherwise, they don't season the tacos. They have salsas you can add to the tacos. Maybe they season them. Maybe I'm being incorrect there. But there is no like salsa on most of the tacos you order. I would call them plain. So they do need, their salsas are good. So you put the salsa on there. But it was a fantastic. I mean, egg and black bean in the morning might be my favorite thing. I'm not even kidding. That is a.
I mean, it's tremendous. I'm looking up Ladybird tacos right now. They look like a legit taco spot. A little high end, an elevated taco.
Yeah,
but the pictures are good. It looks decent.
It's too bad John Burr's not here because he would just be, I'm sure, have many criticisms and insults for
Ladybird tacos. Also, their logo has a armadillo in it.
It does, in fact.
I don't know if you guys did your research. The armadillo belongs to Dino's Nashville. So Dino's has the armadillo on their logo. I think you guys are stepping on. There should be copyright.
They probably are. It is.
And Dino's has
the appropriation. It's gentrification and appropriation.
Dino's has the best breakfast burger in town for me. They have a brunch breakfast burger.
I've never had the brunch breakfast burger.
Oh, it's incredible.
Got to do it.
Incredible. Big fat egg, sausage patty. It's incredible.
So those are our breakfasts. After our breakfast, we move to our breakfast in bed. Apologies. This is our chance to make right what we might have gotten wrong in a previous episode. It's frequently the first time we talk about the NBA. By the way, listeners, specifically Patreon supporters, we've started a new channel in the Slack, calling it Fact Check, Check Fact, where if you spot something that you think we should apologize for, preferably a factually incorrect thing, we would love you just to go in that Slack channel and fact check it and say you are wrong here. So I will apologize for something that I got incorrect last week on the show. There was a breaking NFL story, and this is a great lesson to stay in your lane. I mean, we're an NBA show. Also, it's a great lesson for when news is breaking. Maybe just chill out a little bit. Maybe read the whole article before you report it. I basically got everything incorrect about a breaking NFL story about the Miami Dolphins being forcing to forfeit picks. They lost the first round pick, and I said it was for tanking. It turns out it was actually for tampering. They were essentially absolved of the tanking charges. They got docked draft picks for tampering, for trying to get Tom Brady to their team, trying to get Coach Sean Payton to their team. They lost a first and a third round draft pick for those things. I thought it was a great parallel to the NBA. Like, listen, they understand tanking's bad. The hilarious thing, the reason that they got off, or they apparently weren't punished for the owner telling the coach, "I will pay you more for every loss," was they said he was joking. It wasn't supposed to be taken seriously.
LOL.
Which is a great way to get out of anything. Like, hey, man, I'll give you $100,000 if you kill my wife. I'm just kidding. Who would take that seriously? Take that seriously?
Hey,
people on the wiretap. That's clearly a joke.
Hey, all you people on January 6th. I didn't mean for you to storm the Capitol. That's not what I That was just a joke.
I didn't want to actually lynch the vice president.
I wasn't what I wanted to do.
Man, hilarious. Chuck, you have anything you need to you'd like to apologize for?
We've had a long and drawn out history with Snooze Eatery here. John Burr has been a fan of their bacon flights, their pancake flights.
We've also been shouting out a lot of Nashville eateries so far in this episode.
Snooze, which just opened, it's a national chain. They do a fantastic breakfast product.
Don't go too hard with the promotion.
I mean, they're good. Okay. But we had mentioned them on the show a few times. They had reached out to us via Instagram saying they heard that we had talked about them and they were going to take care of us, and it never happened. And last week, I believe we dragged them, or maybe we dragged them in.
Well, we just said, hey, they said they would mail us something in a long time past.
A long time. Not only did they send us something, they sent us a wonderful gift card and a handwritten note telling us how much they love us and appreciate us talking about their breakfast establishment there in East Nashville. So, sorry, Snooze, you guys came through. Keith, technically, which is funny because I run the Instagram, but Keith got the gift card. So I don't know exactly. He doesn't answer many DMs, but he answered that one.
I did.
So he managed.
They asked for an address, and I gave it.
Yeah, and possession's 9/10 of the law. So he's effectively the owner of this thing, and I'm never going to eat off that gift card.
And I will say, the moral of the story is, if you send us gift cards, we will talk about you. So just take that for what I mean. I'm easily purchased. Did you see? By the way, did you see this news story that came out on Newsweek or something? Or maybe it's some other weirder publication about the payola. They called it a scheme in podcast guests, where podcast guests were paying to go on podcasts. Listen,
what?
I'm in. If you want to come on the show, you send us money. It's done. Easily done. I mean, honestly, that's an explicit part of our Patreon. I had no idea that was not above board. I thought that's just how we do it. Apparently some guests are paying up to $50,000 to go on national shows. Listen, our price is cheaper.
Yeah. Apparently some guests are paying up to $50,000 to appear on shows.
Yeah.
The
DMs are open.
The $49.99 we'll name the show after you.
Oh man, I'm ready for a title sponsorship from this oil change place. I don't care.
Let's do it.
Fastbreak Breakfast presented by
Breakfast in Bed and Apologies presented by Snooze. If you guys want, you're going to see as soon as we talk about you, the up to dozens of East Nashvillians that listen to the show, half of them us, will start flocking. So you'll see.
I think it's a good idea. Maybe we should run it by our actual sponsors, the Memphis Grizzlies.
Oh yeah.
If you want to get your Grizzlies season tickets, if you want to guarantee the best seats at the lowest prices to see Ja Morant and the next gen Grizz next year, well, you know it, 2022, 2023 season tickets, that is the best way. You will get to see the Lakers, the Warriors, the Nets, and more, starting at just $11 per game. Plus, when you become a season ticket holder, you are automatically named an MVP member. You get all the next level benefits, including special events, merchandise discounts, NBA League Pass, and more. So get your season tickets. That also guarantees you your tickets to the playoffs next year. Call 901-888-HOOP or click grizzlies.com today. Get those season tickets, 901-888-HOOP or click grizzlies.com. All right, steak and eggs, best thing, Chuck. What's the best thing you saw in the last week?
Well, Kevin Durant had a meeting with Keith Parrish, and this week, Kevin Durant actually got John Burr fired from the podcast. He's no longer with us. In order for us to continue talking about Kevin Durant, he
put his foot down. He put his foot down.
I'm not having this. You better get rid of all the people that I hired. I want you. Remember that team? I want all of those people that I picked gone from here.
A lot of people don't know this, but Kevin Durant specifically picked John Burr. He said,
he did. Handpicked.
Listen, the only way I will secretly bankroll your show is if you had John Burr. And then he said, listen, it's either John Burr or I no longer secretly bankroll your show. And so John Burr's out. I didn't have the backbone of Josiah who
or the money.
Twitter to say, no, I stand behind these front office guys. So if Durant picked Steve Nash and John Burr, shouldn't he be allowed just to fire him as well? I don't see the problem.
That's what I don't understand. And
no issues here.
According to Kyrie, anyone can coach the team. It's self-coached. It's a self-coaching
Yeah, we
team.
don't have many coaches.
It doesn't make sense. Why even have a coach? You could save so much money by just having those guys show up on their own, call their own plays, call their own timeouts. It doesn't make sense these days. I love player empowerment. Let's do it. Fire all the coaches.
Josiah saying, you know, this like a month ago, I think he told like Brian Windhorst or somebody, he's like, I would rather have a team I can be proud of. I'd rather have 40 wins in the play-in and be proud of like the heart and the hustle. You know what that sounds? You know what that sounds like? Dylan Brooks trade. You want 40 wins in the play-in and heart and hustle? Dylan Brooks? That screams Dylan Brooks. Let's make it happen.
You'll know when things are like specifically like on the rocks when KD starts tweeting about China. Right? Because that's when you know when
he goes free Taiwan. When he says the Dalai Lama is the true ruler of Tibet.
That's it.
That
it's a wrap.
Is when he that's when it's a wrap. Man, the Nets are hilarious. Okay, they are hilarious, and
it's so funny.
It's weird that like I guess this is just national news, and we normally try to avoid some of the bigger stories, but it's the summer. And I will accept the offering. I will accept the peace offering of Kevin Durant of I will generate content and news for all the creators out there. Like this team has Kevin Durant, has Kyrie Irving, has Ben Simmons.
Who left the group chat.
Who, by the way, according to Rick Bucher, he left the group chat after game 3 against the Celtics. It's come out. This is just another of those fake news things. He said this never happened. It's not true. And by the way, my best thing, Chuck, is the summertime content creators. Yeah. I'm not talking about us. I'm talking about Kevin Durant being like, here's something for my little podcasters. I'm talking about the reporters who stir the pot, who wake up every morning like, listen, I heard this story. There's some stories that like I'm certain are made up. Like the Rick Bucher, Ben Simmons left the group chat. I'm like, all right, there's no way that's real. All right, and they say it's not real. And then there's like this Paolo Banchero, DeJounte Murray beef, and there were things said. When I read what DeJounte Murray wrote on Instagram, I was like, well, I'm not taking that bait. There's no way that's true. Because there's so many people out there. There's the fake news breakers who their whole point is just engagement and they're trying to get aggregated. They're trying to make SportsCenter and dupe ESPN. And when I saw the DeJounte Murray stuff, I'm like, oh, they're at it again. No way they get me that time. And then it turns out it's real. And man, also I saw this news report has to be fake. The Kings signed Matthew Dellavedova
and Quinn Cook.
Outrageous. I love it. Thanks for making up this fictional NBA storylines so we have something to entertain ourselves daily.
There's also a fake name. Apparently the Magics signed a guy named Simi Shitu.
Yeah. Love it.
Fake name.
Content machines keep churning. Thanks for the entertainment, everybody. I'm beside myself in the middle of August. Like this is supposed to be, listen, Chuck, this is supposed to be schedule release week.
Right.
But the NBA content creators are like, man, we messed up. We don't know what the Nets are going to do. Do we put them on Christmas Day? Like what if KD gets traded to anywhere? Like if he's traded to the Raptors or if he's traded to the Suns, we got to change our Christmas Day matchups. Right. We got to do Warriors Suns or something. I mean, listen, it should be Warriors Grizzlies. NBA schedule creators it needs to be Warriors Grizzlies on Christmas. But this is supposed to be schedule release week. It's been kicked back. They're saying maybe the 18th. And that is, I'm assuming, literally because of the Kevin Durant impasse with the Brooklyn Nets. They don't know what to do. And I don't know, like, do the schedule makers eventually just have to say, let's assume Kyrie and KD aren't going to be
right. Are we gonna not book the third or fourth best player in the league on any meaningful nights this year?
They got to flex them out. I mean, this is a hey, listen, previous seasons we've booked the Pelicans for like 18 of the first 35 national TV spots, and Zion Williamson hasn't been there. It's been a disaster. So are they really going to book the Nets on all these like ESPN 7 p.m. Eastern Wednesday night slots? I don't know what they're supposed to do. What are they supposed to do?
They are losing it.
That team has Joe Harris,
Patty Mills, baby.
Patty Mills and Cam Thomas. Come on down. The opposite of our steak and eggs best thing is the cream of wheat worst thing. And speaking of Christmas Day, speaking of like your marquee franchises, here's my worst thing, Chuck. I cannot quit the Los Angeles Lakers and their storylines. I know we're supposed to be the divergent stories. We're supposed to find the diamonds in the rough. I'm supposed to talk about the Orlando Magic. I'm supposed to talk about the Hornets, because everyone, stupid ESPN and everybody there, it's all Lakers all the time. And that's how I've operated for the previous years of this podcast. But right now, it's the only thing I ever want to talk about. And the thing that has to be revved up right now is The Athletic, the Lakers beat writer, put out a thing that was like, this is the Lakers' possible closing lineup. And it blew my mind. And it was Austin Reeves, Troy Brown Jr., Juan Toscano Anderson, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. Mm-hmm. Is Russell Westbrook that bad, Chuck? He can't be that bad. Like, did I miss? I know I've seen the clips. I've seen like the fact that, hey, everyone's done with Russell Westbrook. Got to get him out of town. But you're talking, are Lakers fans down so bad that they're saying, oh yeah, our backcourt should be Troy Brown Jr. and Austin Reeves, which, by the way, if that is truly your closing backcourt, that is comfortably the worst backcourt in the NBA. Comfortably.
By a mile.
By orders of magnitude. Right. The Rockets, the Magic, the Spurs, maybe not the Spurs. Are the Spurs starting Trey Jones? I don't know who they're starting. Maybe not the Spurs. Like, that is orders of magnitude worse than any other NBA team. Yeah. Like Juan Toscano Anderson, DNPs. I guess DNPs on the champions. Okay. But like, you're saying your 1 through 3 are guys who can't play on other teams? Yeah. That is Tank City. And I know I'm not supposed to talk about this. I know I'm supposed to find a deeper cut story, but it blew my mind.
Well, I mean, and the consistency though with the Lakers and their choices is incredible. You know, like to have problems with shooting, right?
Yes.
And then bring in Lonnie Walker, right? Like a guy who really can't shoot.
Do you hate Lonnie Walker already that much? Like, Lonnie Walker can at least score the basket.
He can play. He can run.
Most teams aren't DNPing Lonnie Walker. Any team can find 14 minutes for him. Yeah. Why isn't Lonnie Walker in your closing lineup? I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe it's going to work out. We're going to get Kyrie or something. But I cannot quit. I can't quit the Lakers. I can't quit thinking about them. Also, here's a bad thing. Here's another worst part of it. When I see that lineup, I'm like, this team is going to be, again, outside of a Kyrie trade, this team is going to be in the lottery again. Yeah. And with the flattened odds,
yeah.
I mean, they finished 8th in the lottery last year. Right now, they're worse than they were last season.
And older.
You're telling me the Pelicans are going to have like a legit 8 or 9% chance at Victor Wembanyama based on the Lakers.
Yeah.
And that, like, are you forced to sell the team if that happens? Like, what does Jenny Buzz do? Anyway, we can get off the Lakers.
She's going to sell 5 Lakers on her Twitter account, 5 Lakers shares.
Chuck, what's your worst thing?
So we talked about earlier, DeJounte Murray and Paolo Banchero getting into it. We saw a video. DeJounte's doing a lot of stuff in the pro-am. I don't know if you've seen all the clips. He's taken the ball and like knocking it on people's heads multiple times.
Yeah.
I wonder what's going on with him. And specifically, maybe you leave the comfort and security and operational tightness of the Spurs. You go and you're on your own now, right? Like you don't have Papa Pop watching over you, like what's his name? And damn it, never mind. You're gonna have to cut that. I had a joke and I lost the guy's name.
Are you looking for a player? What are you looking for?
No, the guy from Stranger Things. What's his name? Matthew Modine.
Oh, do it again.
Okay. You don't have Pop watching over you, Papa Pop, like Matthew Modine and Stranger Things, taking care of you and making sure you're doing everything right. You're on your own. Now
is Matthew Modine in Stranger Things?
He is.
I've been out for a while.
You've been out. He's kind of a big
I
deal.
I watched here's you know my thing. I watched one season.
Why? It gets so much better.
I never go to season 2s of any of the programs. I feel like it's served me well. Like I'm a person who, when I start watching a new show, I get bummed if they're like, so and so has been renewed for a second season. Like, I thought we were gonna have a nice little run. Like, I'll tell you the one right now, The Old Man with Jeff Bridges.
Oh, I need to start that.
The pilot is awesome. It is a very genre-y of a movie I've seen 100 times, and I eat it up. And he's like he's like an elderly Jason Bourne with attack dogs. Done. I will watch all of elderly Jason Bourne with attack dogs. Give it to me every episode. And here's the thing: I think episode 3 or 4, he gives the dogs away. Spoiler. This show is terrible now. What happened to the attack dogs? It's the most boring show in the world. Again, a deep dive, and I feel like it started. Hey, you get a strong 3 episodes, and then you get that renewal. Then you just coast. Then you just try to bleed it. Try to bleed it dry as long as possible.
No, well, but anyway, DeJounte's acting out.
DeJounte.
He's saying he's going to perform sex acts with Pablo Banchero apparently on the internet.
Okay. I don't know how to go about this. He said he's going to blow his back out. Is there another way to take that?
No.
Okay.
There isn't. Well,
that's streets? like something a person could. That's like something my dad could say and not know what he said.
Well, I mean, if you're talking,
I leaned over and I blew my back out. That doesn't work. You
can't blow your own back out.
Here, pick this up and I'll blow your back out. Yeah. I guess you can't accidentally say that.
No, you can't. Yeah. There's no way unless you're a chiropractor, and you say, hey, sorry, I know that hurt a lot, but I had to blow your back out. Like that'd probably be the only situation where saying that has no sexual connotation.
Okay.
And even then it's a little suspect.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, those guys, there's got to be something else going on deep down between Paolo and DeJounte. There has to be like a shared Instagram model.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know how these guys communicate. Maybe that's just playful banter. I don't have the proper context to know the things that are said among friends, among even friendly rivals.
I guess. I don't know. It just seemed like the DeJounte was losing it, and nobody wants. I mean,
I've already said my piece. I assumed it was fake.
I did my deep dive. I watched. I would
not share that because that's not true.
He's just angry. Now this could play both the two ways for the Hawks. In my opinion, they could either wrangle this newfound DeJounte Unchained, kind of like going after everybody maniacally, or he is now going to lose his mind and not be able to function next to Trae Young, and he's going to get into a fight, a game. Because it looked like he would physically bullying people. Like when you take a ball and you hit it on someone's head, that's not how I play pickup basketball, but I'm bad at basketball. So I don't know. Maybe I'm not well versed in the etiquette of the Drew League. Is it okay if you're an NBA player to hit like a regular 9-to-5 worker, just a dude,
a guy? Is it okay to hit him in the head with a basketball several times? I don't know. Not my thing. It is. It's not my. It's not my place to say.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Those were our worst things. We're going to move ahead Before we get actually to our, we're going to do our swing players once again. Before we get there, we have a listener submitted question, a kind of involved one. A croissant questioner. Question, Chuck. Do you want to add Joey Devine to the recording?
Oh yeah, let's do it.
You got a regular doctor appointment, or you got a symptom?
Oh no, it's just a checkup. I also have like a list of things I need to have them look at.
Yeah.
But the VA is very silly with a lot of things when it comes to like referrals. Like I have to tell my doctor, hey, I have to go. Yeah, but you can just go to the dentist. I have to like tell my doctor, hey, I need to go to the dentist. I need to get this filled.
Oh.
And they write the primary care has to write my dental appointment, which is
awful. I had to get a new primary care. I had that set up for show content if we ever needed it.
Yeah.
Like I want to get, because I wanted to get a here we go. So I want to get the vasectomy.
Oh yeah, I got mine.
I'm all scheduled.
Oh yeah.
October 10, baby.
Yeah.
Preseason.
Joey, when are you getting your vasectomy?
Have you been vasected?
I have not, no. But
you're still thinking about reproducing. Look at this guy.
No, I am definitely not. But
it's fine. I'm not mocking.
We're just talking about getting snipped over here. A little light chat.
Hey, a friend of mine did it, and he is completely single. And he says it's like he had a party. He was like, guess who can't get anybody pregnant anymore? He's like the most like he's a comedian, and he's like the most like he gets around. Let's just say that.
All right. Yeah. I mean, it's a pickup line.
It's on my field profile.
Yeah. Joey, we're about to answer a croissant question. We're going to do
sure.
It's about players young guys still on their rookie deal who need a change of scenery, the quote unquote Hollinger's second draft guys.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, just pipe up if you think of any, but and then we're going to do a thing. We're going to close with a swing player, which is the player who provides the biggest variable for how this team does in the upcoming season. We're doing the Atlantic Division.
Okay.
Which is the Celtics, Sixers, Knicks, Nets, and one of the Raptors. I wanted to do that from memory to impress you, Joey.
No, that was good. I always have to look up the divisions. Like it's
right. Yeah. I forgot it was called the Southeast briefly last week. I was like, oh, I thought that was the Atlantic, the one that has teams that touch the Atlantic Ocean. No. Not.
Before we get started, Keith, did you hear that clip I shared from Heat 2?
No, I haven't.
Well, wait. Hold on. Heat 2. Michael Mann wrote a book called Heat 2. And here's a clip from the audiobook.
Right now, at a minimum, you're looking at accessory after the fact on the armored van robbery, with 3 associated homicides and a bank robbery, including the murder of an LAPD sergeant during its commission, one of my partners, and 3 uniformed officers. The killing of Roger Van Zant, and, in addition to that aforementioned carnage, the killing of an asshole named Wayne Grove.
Wow.
Is that a computer reading that? Is it
no?
Siri?
That's a man. That's a man
AI?
named Peter Giles doing really throwing some Pacino.
I love the Wayne
carnage.
Wayne Grove.
Wayne Grove. Oh, amazing.
There used to be a bot Twitter account where if you mentioned Wayne Grove on Twitter, he would reply to you. One of my favorite things of the early Twitter usages. All right. Let's finish this show. We got 24 minutes, maybe. Magnus asks, and by the way, listeners, we have a special guest who just joined us now. Joey Devine is on the line.
Hey, that's me.
Hey, Joey. So Magnus asks, what are some interesting potential, quote, second draft guys right now? These are players who are still on their rookie contracts or about to not have them extended, who haven't been very good for their draft team and are looking for a change of scenery or could benefit from a change of scenery. I don't know if John Hollinger coined this term. This is now me talking and no longer Magnus's question. I don't know if Hollinger coined the term. I do know he signed Ben McLemore hoping he would be a second draft reclamation project for the Grizzlies. And he was not. He was bad. It was terrible. They gave Tony Allen's money to Ben McLemore. But who are some interesting potential second draft guys? I will actually say, I'll continue talking. The Pacers are doing this right now with a couple of guys. They have named Jalen Smith, yes, as their starting power forward. They also got Aaron Nesmith. I guess he counts going into his third year. I think that's fair to count. He was a later lottery pick, but still, I think he was the 14th pick. So the Pacers are trying it out. But are there other guys out there?
What do you call it when your original team that drafted you did it again? Like Mo Bamba? Just recently. I
played the Orlando Magic, essentially doing a second draft on Mo Bamba by surprisingly extending him. That's a good one. Honestly, if Mo Bamba had changed teams, he would be like, that's the perfect one.
Yeah. I'm going with all the guys whose first name ends in I. So Obi, Rui, Denny. I think there's a theme there.
Jedi names? Is the theme Jedi names?
All Jedi names.
Yeah.
We need to be careful with Santi Aldama. He might be on the list next.
Oh, no.
Atari Eason.
Sante's too young. They're too young, Chuck.
They are too young.
I like the theme. I think
thematically. I
don't know if Rui and Denny count yet, but I feel like next year, certainly. Yeah. Obi feels like a screaming. Just give this man a change of scenery.
Put him in another team.
I guess the Knicks are sort of doing it with Cam Reddish. He was a pretty high draft pick, and maybe they're still going to trade him again. Like the third second draft option. Are there any are there any ones you guys believe in? Or like you're like that guy needs a change of scenery? Because most of these people
James Wiseman.
I had him highlighted on my list too.
As a Golden State Warriors fan, James Wiseman needs a change of scenery because that's my number one guy on this list. Because it is not gonna work with the Golden State Warriors. There's just he's just not the right player for that team. I believe that a 7-footer who, when he's not injured, is he's that big, will eventually be an NBA player. Maybe not a good one, but a guy who plays for 10 years. There's definitely a Kwame Brown level career in James Wiseman. I just don't think it's with the Golden State Warriors.
Gotcha. So you're not excited about James Wiseman.
No, he doesn't know how to play basketball.
Franchise.
And,
you guys taught Wiggins how to play basketball. You'll be fine, right?
Yeah. No.
Here's what. How about? I think of the bigger busts recently, maybe Killian Hayes. I don't think he's actually good, but I don't think he's going to play anymore on this team that now has Jaden Ivey and Cade Cunningham. No. And by the way, Alec Burks, Kimball Walker, and Corey Joseph. Maybe he's above them. Killian Hayes seems like one. Do you guys know Jarrett Culver's really, really young?
I did know that. Yeah.
I think a couple of guys who are a year away from this are fellow Auburn boys Chuma Okeke and Isaac Okoro.
I was gonna say Isaac.
Both
Okoro
of those
too.
guys drafted really high.
I really like Isaac Okoro, actually. But again, I also have a real thing for a wing who cannot shoot. I always am like, that guy's gonna be so good
once he figures it out.
Yeah.
I know he's good, and he's already shown he can play in the league, but Colin Sexton might need to be in a different environment to blossom, to turn into maybe a next level kind of guy.
It seems like he needs a change of scenery because they don't value him.
Right.
So like that could be one. Yeah, he's not as much. I'm trying to think of like the guys who were just bad, who some GM's going to be like, we can fix them. I mean, the Pistons are doing this maybe even more
with
than
Marvin
the Pacers.
Bagley. Yeah.
Not only Marvin Bagley, Kevin Knox. Like, not giving up on Kevin Knox. It's funny looking at like Jarrett Culver being in the Zion, Ja Morant, Darius Garland draft. My brain won't accept that fact. Like, I keep seeing it. I'm like, that's not right. That doesn't seem right at all. Another high draft pick, which I was kind of cracking myself up as I look through some of the like top 5 picks who haven't panned out. Josh Jackson's younger than Chris Duarte. I mean, Josh Jackson taken right in between Jason Tatum and De'Aaron Fox in 2017.
I know who my pick is. The Suns are doing it. It's Josh Okogie. I think Josh Okogie can be really good for like a good team. Actually.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I like that one. He's like was like a 20th something pick.
Yeah, he was a 20th pick, so it's not like super.
But that also falls under I guess you and me, Joey, both have the same weak spot. Guys who can kind of defend but can't actually shoot.
Yeah,
that's he does fit that. Fits that.
But to go back to the Magic, they did it with Mo Bamba. They're attempting to do it with Wendell Carter Jr. again.
Wendell was solid last year.
Yeah, so they're rehabbing him, and he's not looking bad with their 15 power forwards.
Does Jonathan Isaac count? Can that be?
That's the other thing.
I mean,
I thought of the best one, guys.
Don't you say Tyler Hero?
Lottery talent. Maybe just needs a change of scenery. Could really I still believe in him. I think he could blossom. Ben Simmons.
Nah, hey now.
Ben says somebody's in his second draft. Ben Simmons.
I'm gonna leave this group chat.
Yeah. Also, let's see.
Which, by the way, can we talk about that briefly?
Yes.
Don't believe things Rick Bucher says.
We already made fun of it, Joey, before you showed up.
All right. Just making sure.
Thanks for the question, Magnus. If you listeners out there want your own question answered on air or as part of our monthly Millennial Brunch Zoom hangout, you have to become a Patreon supporter. By the way, thanks to Keaton Johnson, yet another Grizzlies fan who has signed up.
That's
for
a second draft guy I'm into.
Oh,
Keaton Johnson.
Yeah. Good draft pedigree. Thanks for joining up. Also, by the way, patrons, we'll be doing a fantasy football league once again. Joey, your Round Ball Rock co-host Sean Keane won it last year. So hopefully Sean will try to defend his title. But if anyone wants to play fantasy football, you have to beat the $5 tier as a Patreon supporter, but we'll be getting that going probably in the next week to sign up. So if you want to play fantasy football with us, you want to join the Slack, you want to have your question answered, do it all at patreon.com/Fastbreak Breakfast.
Sean and I are in a comedian fantasy football league, and last year I was like middle of the pack. It's not a dynasty league, but you can trade draft picks. And Sean and I colluded because I was trying, my team was like fine, but I was like, this team can't win in the playoffs. I want to tank the rest of this season. And so I was trying to trade all my good players for draft picks, and no one would give me anything. They were all lowballing me. So I traded them all to Sean for like a 4th round pick.
I don't normally condone violence, but fantasy football collusion
it works.
Gets my full endorsement. All right, par fadeaway, gentlemen. We're doing this again like we did last week. We'll continue previewing the upcoming season by identifying Chuck swing players who will swing the fortunes of the team, because Chuck is the expert on swinging on the podcast.
I was going to make that joke. All right.
I made it last week too. It's our running theme.
We are looking at guys who we think perhaps this player is the biggest variable for a team's success. We're not talking about like established players. We know who the guys are good. We're doing it by division. And this week's division is the Atlantic Division. So we're going to go based on how these teams finished last year. We'll start. There was a tie in first place in the Atlantic Division between the Celtics and the Sixers. Let's start with the Celtics. Which player do you think is the biggest variable to their success this upcoming season?
Well, I mean, he's good to me.
Yeah.
But he's older. If he continues to play like he did last year, and he doesn't have to because they brought in a guy to replace some of the buckets he'll get, but like Al Horford, if he can be that dude, I mean, that he was last year, he played
playoff.
Out of his
Horford
mind,
was
insane,
absurd.
So if they can use Danilo Gallinari as kind of like a way to bubble wrap Horford for the playoffs, then I like him as like the guy who can turn a great team into an elite team.
Yeah.
So wait, was your choice Danilo Gallinari or Al
Yeah,
Horford?
Sounded like you wanted to go with Gallinari.
I
like it. No, it's good. I think Horford's a good one. I mean, he is. I think I consider him being more of a consistent presence. But when you mention the age, we never know. I guess like he got that gap year from the Thunder that let him totally like charge up. Can he actually do it 2 years in a row? Maybe that's more of a question. Joe, who do you think is the player that's the biggest variable for the Celtics' success this season?
I mean, it depends. What level are we considering? I think it's Rob Williams, actually.
Yeah. Okay.
Just because Rob Williams being as good as he was last year, like, was kind of the game changer, right? Defensively, like they were a good they went from like a good defensive team to like an all-time great defensive team, and it's like he was hurt on and off in the playoffs. Like, can he do that again for like a whole season? I hope so, because he's awesome.
I like you as a Warriors fan acknowledging that the Celtics would have won if Time Lord had been healthy.
I mean, it's
mature.
Look, there's lots of what ifs. Like,
if John Morant was healthy, I've heard you say it many times in private.
Sure.
I think those are both good, but using the parameters I created in my mind, I like Malcolm Brogdon for this one.
He was also, I was gonna.
This team has so much knowns. Like Jason Tatum's awesome. Jaylen Brown's great. Like if Horford does it again, if Time Lord performs at the level, they have so many already established things that probably keep them at the same level as last year. If Malcolm Brogdon looks like he can look, well, then I think that's the title favorite. But there's obviously huge question marks, which is why he was available for not that much. And so, like, for me, I think I would just, this is one of the easier ones in this division. The other teams are kind of hard, I think, but I think it's probably Malcolm for me. But I think both of them, Horford, Gallinari, or Time Lord, can definitely all have avenues where they get this team, maybe to winning the title next season. The Sixers, any name that you think is the biggest, the biggest variable for the success? I mean, maybe contract year Harden, who took a free pay cut. Maybe he counts, but like I feel like we know what we get from Harden. We know what we get from Embiid. I honestly might even put Maxey in that conversation of like, that's a known, but are there any guys that scream to you like this is the swing player? Joe, you got a swing guy for the Philadelphia 76ers?
I mean, it's your guy, Keith. It's DeAnthony Melton, right?
Yeah.
Like, because if they can get a guy who plays defense like Matisse Thybulle, but can also make 1 out of every 5 shots instead of that's like a completely different team, isn't it?
It's probably Melton. If Melton is who I thought he was, like if Melton delivers for the faith I've put in him, if they play Melton 25 minutes per game and this team is getting 30 plus minutes from Harden, 30 minutes from Maxey, and then those 25 from Melton, I think they're going to be really incredibly good. Like, fantastically good. Chuck, who's your swing guy?
My swing guy is Tobias Harris.
You don't trust Tobias?
I don't trust Tobias.
That's so funny to me, Keith, because Chuck, because like of all the guys on this Sixers roster, Tobias Harris is the one who does the same thing every year.
I can lean that way, Joey. He's the most consistent.
The most consistently.
He's Tobias. He's doing Tobias
in the playoffs. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe sometimes players take 14 years to develop into a consistent playoff player. Sometimes.
Yeah. I thought you would lean with your guy who got stolen, PJ Tucker. I think PJ Tucker is a huge variable for this team also.
I think, I think he's 62 years old at the start of the season. So there could be some issues there. I didn't want to mention him because it hurt my feelings to even think about it. But yeah, PJ could be a guy who like gives them a lot of defensive versatility. I'm interested to see how Doc uses him on offense. The Heat used him in kind of cool ways where he was like, when Bam was out for long stretches, he was like initiating offense and like kind of like an interesting offensive player that I didn't see him becoming when he came to Miami. So
he is going to be standing in the corner.
And that's
but as long as he can stand in the corner at the same levels he did for the Heat and the Bucks, that's what they paid for. That's what they're hoping for.
We are running back that Rockets team everyone hated to watch here. So
all we need to get is Trevor Ariza.
They got to get 0 for 12 or Ariza back out there.
Yeah.
Let's do the Raptors. They were next in the division last year. This one's tougher. I don't have like one I feel is the correct answer in my mind for this team. I feel like we know Scotty Barnes, Pascal, Anunoby, Gary Trent, something unknown there, like Van Vliet. I don't know. Like maybe is there a player on the roster that you think can get them from mid 40s for 50-ish wins to actually being like a home court advantage team?
If Juancho Hernan Gomez turns into Bo Cruz, yeah.
I'll accept it. Chuck, you have a guy?
Give me Yuta Watanabe, maybe. I don't know.
I don't think they re-signed him yet. I think you're just still out there.
I think like Precious Achua, and I'll go back to my Heat like hope.
That's a great one, I think. Yeah,
he has like some flashes. He will flash like kind of brilliance on defense and a little bit of an offensive game that makes you go, okay, you can keep him on the floor. If another season in their system, he can kind of figure out if he adds something to his game, then he could be something that gets them, a couple extra wins. But I don't see anybody short of like Scotty Barnes who could become like elite this year.
I guess he counts. We can count the rare second year exception guy. Like
my answer is Otto Porter for this. Like if Otto Porter can be who he was for the Warriors last year, which is like a healthy guy who plays really good defense and hits threes, like, I don't know. Nick Nurse was playing like 6 guys at the end of the season last year. Like to get a 7th or an 8th man, like that could be really big for them.
I think it's a good one. I think I'll just back what you guys said. I think those. I was thinking Precious, but also the Otto Porter one makes a ton of sense. Maybe it's cheating to say like if Anunoby plays 70 something games, like that could be the thing. The Brooklyn Nets, what do we do here? I
have no idea.
If Kevin Durant plays on the team, if Kyrie plays on the team, if Ben Simmons plays on the team, do we just give him a pass? Is Joe Tsai the swing player?
Yeah. There's so much
Ben
going
Simmons, on. Dude.
I guess it has to be
their swing player.
If he plays basketball.
If he plays ball.
Because if Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving aren't there, Ben Simmons is their star player.
Cam Thomas is going to score so many points this year. It's going to be awesome. Let's finish up with the Knicks. Sorry, Nets. You guys are weird. We can't play the game with you. The Knicks. Is there a swing player? I'm also looking at this division and like the Knicks don't have a prayer. Like there's no chance the Knicks are better than these other teams. I mean, maybe the Nets. Maybe there's a world where some catastrophe befalls the other teams, but like I feel bad for the Knicks. But like who's a swing player?
Danny Ainge, dude.
All right.
Like if Danny Ainge says yes to their garbage trade for Donovan Mitchell, it's a whole different season for the Knicks, baby.
Yeah, he's the one you're counting on.
I think. I think if I had to pick Joey, your answer is the best. Can't top it. Like, does Julius Randle count because he's not a known commodity? Like,
I don't know
if Julius Randle can make jumpers close to how he did 2 years ago. Is he not harmful again?
I don't have anything to add to what you asked, but I did read on Reddit someone called Julius Randle dubious handles, and it made me laugh. So that was
I do. I will say, if any team, like if I got drunk on Summer League from any team, it was a little bit of the Knicks guys. They had Miles McBride, and I was like, this guy looks amazing. And Jericho Sims looked amazing. And Quentin Grimes, and I'm like, oh man, they might have something cooking there.
Yeah, but Keith, and they were like kicking everybody's asses. But
yeah,
did you look at the minute totals after those games?
They were
straight Tibbsy.
That's organizational continuity. That's top to bottom being on the same page.
Yeah, but it's like they're kicking everybody's asses, but then it's like, oh yeah, this team played all their good players 24 minutes. This team played all their good players 42 in a summer league game.
I believe in the Knicks. I mean, they're good. No, I don't. I think they're going to be quite bad. I think Jalen Brunson is good. I feel like their summer was actually really good, despite people like kind of clowning them for doing all those things.
Hartenstein's good.
To get like Hartenstein's a solid player.
Yeah.
They just gotta be patient, I guess. Anyways, I feel
trade everything for Donovan Mitchell.
That's the opposite of being patient. I feel like we did a good job here. We'll wrap up the Eastern Conference next week on the show. Joey, thanks for stopping by. People in Memphis, I got to tell you that the Backstreet Boys are coming. The Backstreet Boys are bringing their DNA World Tour to FedEx Forum on Friday, September 9th. Don't miss your chance to see one of the most famous boy bands of all time. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com or FedEx Forum, the FedEx Forum box office. Joey, of course, hosts the Round Ball Rock podcast. Make sure you check that out. If you want to follow us on Twitter, do that at Fastbreak Break. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. You guys are the best. Thanks for listening. And remember, breakfast is the most important thing.
All right, boys.
All right, dudes.
See you.
Thanks, Joey.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, of course. That was fun.
Later.
Sorry I wasn't up for the initial ask.
Well, you were messaging about Heat 2 at 6 a.m. my time.
Yeah, it was 3:56 my time, I believe. Yeah. Look, I was listening to Heat 2. I was doing some dishes, and I was like, I got to send him this Pacino clip.
It's unbelievable. All right, man. I'll see you.
Later, Keith.